All right, welcome everyone. My name is Valencia King. I am a senior simulation technician here at Emory University School of Nursing. Welcome to today's session with Striving for Excellence with Simulation Research. Our presenters today will be Dr. Michelle Kelly. She's been working in and researching about healthcare simulation since 2006 and is the chair of the SSH Research Committee. Michelle's area of focus include SBE as preparation for or refinement of practice within the context of culture diversity and input from healthcare consumers. Dr. Jill Sanko is a PhD prepared nurse scientist with the research focus in leveraging healthcare simulation to improve healthcare. She is a past member of the SSH Research Committee, has been involved in SBE for over 2 decades, and has been recognized for her work and contributions to the field of healthcare simulation. Dr. Karen Mangold is a pediatric emergency medicine physician at Lurie's Children Northwestern University in Chicago and vice chair of the SSH Research Committee. She is interested in development and assessment of educational curricula, especially at the graduate medical level. So welcome everyone, and I will get the
and I'm the chair of the SSH Research Committee. Today, I'll be giving you just a few insights into striving for excellence in simulation research and highlighting the activities of the Research Committee and how they can support you. I'll be followed by, after this presentation, by Jill Sanko, who'll be available live during SSH Simulation Week. And then Karen Mangold will also be available for a Q&A. And as you can see, Karen is Vice Chair of our Research Committee. So just to give you the objectives for this session, which were available on the website just prior to the meeting. And it's really just to give you an idea of what the range of activities that the Research Committee are undertaking, offer opportunities for engagement and mentorship in research, and to raise awareness, and this is when I will switch to Jill, of the Virtual Scholars Program, which is overseen by the Academy Fellows. Sorry, I'm just going to move my picture around a little bit to give you an idea of who's on our Research Committee. Aaron Calhoun is our board liaison, a previous chair of the Research Committee, and you can see the names and faces of the other members. We have also international contributions, Gabe Reedy from London, UK, Kathy Smith from Toronto, Canada, and Zali Ahmadi from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. We are ably supported by our SSH support staff, Kathy Adams, Kristen Gadledge, and Hannah Trainer. Now, here is just a sum of the current projects and portfolios. You can see there's a lot of work happening, and I'll be going through each of these in a little bit more detail. First of all, the SSH Knowledge Map, it's a wonderful repository of information, and it's a unique and powerful tool to be able to connect you with content areas, research initiatives, different methodologies and applications. And this is ably run by Susan Eller and more recently supported by Zali Ahmadi. The website is at the bottom there. So do yourself a favour and have a look at the knowledge map, and contact the committee or Susan directly for further information. The Articles of Influence is, I think, a nice little initiative. I'm a bit biased there because I'm joined by Gabe Reedy, Sir Cantor and Kathy Smith. And this is now in its 5th year, and we put it out to members to volunteer to review a small tranche of abstracts from any of the 4 journals, but your preference of the 4 journals listed there. We're switching over to a new journal because BMJ Cell is now no longer. So we really are interested, rather than a ranking of what are the top 10, we're interested in what articles influence your practice and research. So it's quite a subjective endeavour, but I think it's more meaningful than a ranking. So we ask you to rate out of 1 to 5 which journals in the group that we send to you, and we aim to have 3 reviewers for each group so that we have some robustness around the process. So watch out for more information coming very soon. But you're most welcome to join or volunteer as a reviewer. Next, we have the International Simulation Data Registry. I'm just going to move me around a little bit. And this is ably led by Linda Brown and Sir Cantoy. And again, it's a wonderful repository ongoing and archiving standardised data, which is derived from sim-based activities and various institutions. So it's a global initiative. And the 3 purposes listed there, and it's really to be able to dip into some curated and broad-reaching data to then learn and build in this space. The Early Career Simulation Research Grants, formerly known as the Novice Research Grants, are available to novices to be first person listed on the grant application. And it's a 2-phase process. You put an expression of interest and outline of your research proposal. And once that is reviewed and if it reaches the next stage, you are asked to put in a full proposal. So all these activities are happening right now or very soon. And grants between $5,000 or $10,000 are available. But a key part is that you are supported by a team within your research centre or wherever you are working in the research world. The IMSH Scientific Content Advisory Team, you can imagine knowing IMSH, the breadth of activities and presentations, that this is not a small endeavour. So we have Mark Adler and Kyle supporting Karen Mangold, and we are always after reviewers. It makes the work more manageable if there are more people reviewing, and also to perhaps volunteer for professorial rounds for the poster presentations, etc. So Karen will be on the call after this for a Q&A. Another initiative at IMSH, and this is particularly geared for mentees, is to provide opportunity during a speed mentoring session with mentors. So again, we're always after people to volunteer to be mentors and to also make your novice research colleagues aware of this activity, because they can discuss what their ideas are. They might already be embarking on a research study, but it's an opportunity to talk to experienced researchers within this session at IMSH. So please take note of that as well. And the Research Summit coming up in January as the alternate to pre-conference workshops. And you can see the goals there are fourfold. Exploration of known research topics and areas within healthcare simulation research, but also emerging areas, and very ably led by Demetrios Stefanidis and supported by Kristen Gadledge. And again, there's the link to the summit down the bottom. Also, there are many research tools within the website. And if you're not sort of looking out for them or purposely searching, then here they are. And the link at the bottom is where you will find the hyperlinks that are listed here. So I offer that to you as a bit of an exploration when you've got, you know, a spare 10 minutes or so, and are looking for supportive or more knowledge about conducting and exploring research. So that is all from me. Questions are possible in the upcoming Q&A, and there's contact details for two of our support people. But I'm now going to hand over to Jill Sanko, who will be talking about the Virtual Scholars Program. And then there's opportunity for a live Q&A with Jill and with Karen Mangold. So thanks so much, everyone. And I'll see you in January in Orlando.
All right. Dr. Sanko, you can take it away.
Hi, everyone. Just a couple minutes about the Virtual Scholars Program. This is a program that grew out of many people asking us for more development time at IMSH and ways that they can become better researchers if they didn't already have that educational background. And so this is our third year running this program, but essentially we take anywhere from 8 to 10 scholars who apply to the program each year. And it's carried out over the course of the year, mostly online. We start each cohort at IMSH in January with a meet and greet and some basic information about how to be a researcher and give you a little foundational knowledge there. And then from that point on, we meet monthly, alternating between morning times in the US and evening times in other parts of the world in an effort to accommodate whoever we happen to have in the cohort at the time. And each month we hear from speakers from all over the globe on different topics that pertain to carrying out research, specifically research in simulation, but oftentimes it's more general, you know, ways to do qualitative research or quantitative or mixed methods or something like that. So it's a really nice, robust program. They are also paired with a mentor that you can meet with one-on-one throughout the year to work on a project. The goal really of the program is to provide more sustained foundational knowledge for the emerging researcher. And we're really encouraging the work on a project throughout the year with the goal of applying to the early career grant at the end of the year, and also having an opportunity to present their project at IMSH for further feedback and development when they attend. So we really use the IMSH in-person events as anchors to this program on each end of the year. And we love to see our cohorts meet in person and get to know each other, and we celebrate at the Diamond Ball. So it's a really great program, and we hope that you all consider applying and or being a mentor. We need mentors also, and joining this wonderful work that is supported in part by the research committee, but also in a large part by the SSH Fellows Academy.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sanko. So we will go into any Q&As. If anyone has any questions, you can type them here in the chat.
This is
I'll
Kathy
start with
Adams with the Society. I just wanted to encourage all of you that are thinking about future research initiatives that findings from the Research Summit will include recommendations about gaps that are currently existing in the evidence for healthcare simulation. And so it'll be really good to get in on the discussions at the summit talk about future research initiatives, and maybe even join a research network that would like to get started on digging into some of these problems. We're planning on seeding our early career researcher grants next year based on what we learn at the summit. And so we're hopeful that there will be some great research initiatives for those of you that are interested in starting some new projects. Look to us for some findings from the research summit.
Thank you. Anyone with any questions, you can type them in the chat. I think they are able to possibly unmute. I will start off with a question. Is there a time commitment known for becoming like a journal researcher? Like how much time they would possibly need to commit to doing that? Journal reviewer.
I'd like to ask Karen and Jill to respond about how much approximate time it takes. And I will put a link in the chat about who to email if you're interested in becoming a reviewer for the journal.
I review for the journal, so I can answer from the point of view of a reviewer. There's not a lot of time commitment when you put in your areas of interest and expertise, and when you get an article sent to you. I don't know about everyone. It usually takes me about 1 to 2 hours to do a full comprehensive review and type up comments. And then I think if you review more frequently and quickly, you get more requests, but you are always given the option for like, this is not a good time for me if you have another work commitment going on. And so it's really kind of up to you to tailor how much you're putting into it. It can be just a couple of reviews per year, or it can be much more frequent if you're interested in getting more involved.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and I sit on the editorial board, so the expectation when you're on the editorial board is that you review a little more frequently. Off the top of my head, I don't know what the mandate is for the number, but it basically works in the same way as Karen mentioned is, we get sent an article. If it's not a great time, you just, politely tell them it's not a great time. It does take about, 1 to 2 hours to review. Also keep in mind that if you've reviewed an article and it's been sent out for revisions, they'll ask you to review the revisions. Often that takes less time than the initial review, but that is something to consider in terms of if you're looking at, time commitment. You really do want to accept that second review for the revision so that they don't have to send it to a brand new person.
Okay, thank you for that information. I think that it's good to know that there's some flexibility in being a reviewer in case people are interested in that.
I also think that doing review for the conference can perhaps be like a nice intro. You're not reviewing full articles, just abstracts. So it's they're a little bit shorter and you're given more of a number. I think, Kathy can correct me, I think most reviewers get somewhere in the 8 to 10 abstracts to review. So you can probably get through those in the same 1 to 2 hours, but it's a nice way to kind of look at some research projects and early data that's coming out of them and do short reviews and get kind of used to the review process. And that's closed for this year, but we are always looking for reviews for upcoming conferences.
If you're interested in reviewing this year, we are taking reviewers for the Articles of Influence project. Still available. You do not need to have a long research career to begin reviewing for us for the articles. In fact, what we're looking for are people to tell us what kinds of impacts the articles they're reading will have on their practice. That's basically the ranking that's done. So that's a nice way to get started for the Articles of Influence review. And then you can begin working more on conference reviews of the abstracts and courses that we bring in. The journal does require some research and publication experience, and I put the link in the chat to email journal@ssh.org, and they can give you more information on the exact criteria.
Okay. And there's a question, how do we get started with that? There were links provided in the chat for you to go to the website.
Right, and then just email kadams@ssh.org. to do Articles of Influence. And we'll be issuing those review in the next week or two. So this is a great time.
All right. Any other questions? looks like there was a question about the career simulation grants. Is it for research only? And yes, it is for research projects only.
Now, one other thing that's not really related to research, but related to maybe that question is there are scholarships offered each year for individuals to attend IMSH. So often these go to early career individuals as well, or students. They can apply for a scholarship to offset some of the costs of attending IMSH. And often that's a really great opportunity for a young person just getting into simulation to network and get a really robust, baseline education in a, short amount of time.
I will put the link to the scholarship app page up. They are open to take applications for another week, I believe, for the scholarships. And then the of the year awards are open right now as well. And we will be having those open until September 30th. Those are leading individuals in the field that you feel should be nominated for some pretty prestigious awards: Researcher of the Year, Educator of the Year, Administrator of the Year, and Innovator of the Year. So the link I just put in the chat will get you to the scholarships page at our IMSH website.
All right. I'll do one last round of questions. You can type them in the chat. If not, we will wrap up today's session.
As we give people a minute, I'll just plug the speed mentoring event again. For
right.
those who are interested in being a mentor, please feel free to just reach out to Kathy and we'll get you on our list. But the program in previous years has had some pretty phenomenal mentors, and you get time in, it's usually groups of 2 or 3 participants per mentor, and you get a good 20 minutes. And the feedback we've had is people have notebooks full of comments from the mentors on how to improve a specific project or develop their career in different directions, and they leave almost overwhelmed with the amount of advice that they get from top people in the field. So it's a really phenomenal session to attend if you have room in your conference agenda for it.
The other plug I will make is that if you are interested in research, you need to do some research. That's on your radar. Don't miss the summit. Everybody who is anybody in healthcare sim research is going to be there. You will be able to meet all the leaders in our field and that are conducting research. Our journal team will be there. So pretty much anybody that has anything to do with simulation-based research will be at the summit, and it'll be so it is an additional charge that was asked in the chat. It is a $375 registration fee, but for that you have 12 IPCE units and an incredible experience with this group of researchers. So if research is on your radar, I would recommend coming to the summit. We will be providing lunch on Saturday and then networking opportunities Saturday afternoon to talk about the findings and start planning for future projects.
And I would also say, if you're interested in research, but you're new to the field, a new budding researcher, we'll be sending out shortly the application links for the SSH Virtual Scholars Program to have that on your radar and look out for that, because those will be available very shortly.
All right, thank you. There are lots and lots of great links in the chat. If you want to capture any of those before we close out this meeting, you can click on them and have a whole bunch of tabs open so that you can refer back to them for the future. But before we close this, I just want to make sure that everyone can see all of the different links that are readily accessible to you right now before we close it out. And I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Kelly, Dr. Jill Sanko, and Dr. Karen Mangold for being present for our presentation today and participating. All right, thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.